Cinnamon Coney, the Art Sherpa. If you've never been here before, in general, I teach painting, but right now we're doing something completely different. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
He makes all this equipment. It's really hard to do live. It takes a lot of equipment, and he runs all of it and reads comments.
Sometimes.
Does picture-in-picture, does all the tech stuff. So we're a team, we're a duo. Because I get that question a lot. Who is John?
Who is that
Who
guy?
Who is John? Let's do it like Kirk. Who is John?
What does he do?
I'm not saying I did a good Kirk. Just saying, do Kirk.
What?
Say it's good.
Yeah. I'm going to put some Karen Walters on. Is that okay?
No, because we get content ID'd on
no,
her
not on Karen.
No,
no,
we just had 2 in.
Oh, I got to check those.
Yeah.
Drat. But it's okay. We have permission. We have license on this one. So.
I know. Okay, it's fine.
So we're okay. I'll put her on the background because I like her. Just
YouTube conversations you have that make your family crazy.
Oh, my gosh.
Because it makes no sense to no one else. Like, the constant, like, we're like, you know how, like, people are like, you know, what's that? What's that? We're like, content ID. Content ID. Did you hear it? It's content ID.
So what we're here for today is what?
I guess we're about to maybe hit 80,000 subs, and my husband thought, ooh, 10 away. It'd be really fun to see if we could do a public shaming. Because he's like, let's get live. We'll do a Q&A and we'll watch it trip over. And I'm like, what if it doesn't move the rest of the day?
Yeah, what if we're just...
I wish everyone makes it to 80.
Well, look, we got one more. There's one more. Look, it's happening.
Thank you, person.
Okay.
Thank you.
But we have a lot of questions.
We see you and we appreciate you. Welcome to the family.
Okay, so they say no vocals. They voted no on the music. They said, no, we can't hear you when you have vocals.
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, so I'll find something
good.
else. I'll find something else. It's okay, we'll find it later. She was concerned that she lost one of my monkeys.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. We'll find the monkey later.
Yeah.
This is live.
This is live. Okay, so I found some chill music. Do, do, do.
I know you will. I believe in you.
It's good. Okay, Lena. It's okay.
We lost one, and then one came back. Thank you, one that came back. We lost you, but you returned. Some people come in, they're like, oh, we'll help you. Oh, wait, no, you suck. You just wander off in the middle of what you're saying. Not generally.
Just
pretty
today.
Good at teaching
we
art.
have kids with us today.
If you can tolerate talking.
Yeah. Talking.
Talking.
Okay, so we have questions. So what we're going to do, let's fill anybody in.
Just ask
We're here to ask questions, chat with you guys, tell you to go out and like, comment, subscribe, and share, and do more subscribing so you don't see that number go up and down and up and down like we're doing.
It is. It's just going up and down. Like people can't make
that's
up
okay.
their
We're gonna be humiliated through
it's
it.
It's very difficult to watch the live sub counts. You should never do it as new YouTubers. Don't use this tool. It'll make you insane.
It'll make you insane. So
don't do it. This will be my first YouTube tip from a YouTuber to fellow YouTubers. Don't watch your real-time count.
Yeah, especially when it was
unplanned. I think we have a bunch
of
questions queued up.
We do.
So while we're killing time watching the subscriber count do its thing, we thought we'd do a Q&A and we'd be like, get exposed. And I changed hats and shirts and got myself a little bit of product placement that's not sponsoring this at all.
So there's the first question is a little terrifying for me.
Okay.
Because it requires the knowledge of dates.
We're bad at dates. Just know that right now. When is
and I'm gonna throw this over in your court. When is Cinnamon and John's anniversary?
That's brutal. You put it on me?
October
27th?
5th? 7th? I think 7th.
Your mom knows.
We have a family member. Oh my God! We have see, like they're so disappointed in us that they took away 3 of our subscribers.
They did. They just left.
Oh, sorry.
This is like literally the worst idea.
Okay, so okay, how about this? So, they're coming back now. It's okay. So,
I think people are like intentionally messing with us now.
So our anniversary. Okay, so and our birthdays.
Yeah, well,
you're 7/1.
I'm 7/1. I'm July 1st. I own the entire month of July.
And I'm 12/31.
Which means
December 31st.
His just whole December
I have
sucks.
the worst day ever.
He does. His birthday is it's a very stressful time for our family because he has feelings about his birthday.
Well, see, you know, you grow up.
Do you have someone in your life that has feelings about their birthday?
Yeah, you grow up trying not to have feelings about your birthday, but then other people come in, they go, "Oh my gosh, you legitimately have a horrible birthday."
I didn't have any birthdays growing up, so I don't have any feelings about them except I'm glad they're happening now.
And here's why it's bad. It's not because on first you would think as a kid. having New Year's Eve. Like, everyone's going to have a party, you're going to have sleepover. No. So your parents are always out going someplace doing some parent stuff, which is completely reasonable because it's the one night a year that you're going to go out and do some parenty stuff, right? But all your friends are out of town, everyone's on vacation, nobody can do anything, and everybody else's parents are also doing something. So it's even if your parents are willing to throw a giant party and set up a surprise thing and do something totally awesome for you, then all of a sudden nobody shows up because it's New Year's Eve and like they're all out of town, or it's just a bummer. So as you grow up, you're kind of like, you sort of get some armor on this, and then like
armor.
No, not really. But then you draw in like all the friends as adults, and they realize, no, dude, this day just sucks to have a birthday.
When we were newly together.
Yeah.
I very dewy-eyed believe I could fix this birthday problem. But we've been together a really shocking long time, and now I'm just like, I just write it out. Like,
it's
weather.
We weather. But see, it's,
weather John's birthday.
Now, actually, what we do, the most fun we have is when we go to other places where people aren't having birthday activities, and I camouflage in and just have a good time.
Yeah. So we'll go to like a New Year's Eve party, and
Matt and Dom's is always great.
Yeah. Some friends of ours do a really good one, and he just like pretends like it's not it's not even an age thing. Neither one of us minds getting old. I mean, like,
I don't care. I don't mind.
Nobody minds getting older. It's just
that you put when you put emotional load on something, it's difficult, and it's hard not to put emotional load on a birthday. So,
mine has none. It's July 1st. There's no. I celebrated my first birthday when I was 16.
No. Oh, that's right, because you grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so your first birthday was
not currently.
Not currently, but you grew up that way.
Grew up that way.
So
birthdays were new for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know they came with so much. Didn't know any of the holidays came with so much energy.
Judy asks a very interesting question. What are the favorite things Cinnamon and John like to do?
Oh, wow. Here, let's take a trip on the Dorkington train to Dorkytown.
Well, currently, we like making these free art videos.
This is currently taking up a lot of our stuff.
Well,
but for recreation, every day we watch Philip DeFranco. That's absolutely true. We used to do The Daily Show. We have a list of TV we watch together religiously. We like traveling. We like getting on road trips and exploring odd things.
Hanging out with our what I would say are our tribe, our people, like, because it's, how like when you go out and you hang out with people maybe from work or from other places in your life, and they kind of like they may understand one facet of your life, but they don't necessarily understand you.
John likes doing Boy Scouts with his son. He was an Eagle Scout. He likes doing Boy Scouts. I like doing projects with the kids.
Yeah.
This is really, God, we sound boring. I paint a lot. I do
maybe a lot of painting.
2 paintings up to 3 paintings in a day.
I like astronomy when I have time.
Mm-hmm.
But
John he's a Renaissance man of hobbies. There's just we're building planes from scratch. We're building telescopes from scratch. We're restoring lawnmowers. There's always in John's land. There's always a project afoot that's in varying states of non-completion.
Because I like exploring thoughts and things, and I don't feel any obligation like when I'm exploring flight, for example. Look at that! Oh, look at that 999.
I don't know who did it, but thank you.
Thank you. That's so close.
That's a nice number, 9999. Let's just
in
that warm, fuzzy blanket.
Let's put a pause on the questions and just take a moment to be grateful for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gratefulness of thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, we love you
are
guys.
Not doing any of this without you.
This is, honestly, it's amazing to be with you guys here when we're doing this.
We need to put on a jam.
Yeah. I don't know what jam to put on.
Do the happy dance, because I have a rule in our house that you have to celebrate every win. My husband was in the video game industry for a long, long time, and I instituted that rule because video game industry is like
all I have is
to the face alternated with wings.
I have but one jam right now, guys, so I'm sorry.
Come on, anyone.
But really, honestly, guys, we love you. Thank you guys
Raise the
so
roof.
much.
Do the sprinkler.
It's been a pleasure to be here with you guys for these last couple of years, and just this whole thing is pretty cool. So we appreciate it.
You choked him up.
I know.
So theory.
I will. So yeah.
Wow, you guys are the best. I can't believe. Oh, wait, one said nope. She sucks at dancing. I love watching it like go where they're like, nope.
Yeah.
You suck.
Yeah.
But people do come in and they look around and they're like, oh, is she going to talk the whole time?
Yeah.
And then other people are like, talking's allowed?
Yeah.
Weird hair color's allowed?
Yeah, it's all allowed here,
This
guys.
is my
We're just
jam.
Yeah.
We get to be funny and silly and not take ourselves too seriously. There's a whole bunch of
oh
people
my
come
gosh,
in who are
there's
like, this is
240
my
people here
space.
with us.
Want to lighten up and have a good time. So
thank you
there were
guys.
some cool questions that Lisa, there was that one about like, was it always positive? I thought that was the coolest question.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we'll get back to the questions. Let me
He's choked up.
if you were a D&D class in real life, what would it be? What would your D&D class be? Oh, no, that's not the question you were asking for, but that's an interesting question.
That is. What would yours be in real life?
In real life?
I'd
be a
played
cleric.
this. I suck.
Absolutely. Just no doubt. That would be awesome. Power cleric.
Do I get to power myself up,
Or
or do I
maybe
have to just say what I am right now? Because
paladin.
that's just sad.
What's that? Okay.
Well, if I had to say what my D&D character is,
This one, you're a bard.
I know, which I never play, but I would like if I just was like I created the Sherpa as a character, it would be a bard.
Yeah.
I could really buff your bonus. I guess it's what is that funny?
Yeah.
I'm always illusionist
I'm gonna.
or something goofy or weird in game
Yeah.
with questionable alignments. Because my alignment is not questionable in life, so I have to play questionable alignments.
So okay. Lisa said the coolest. I mean, it was kind of the funniest thing to me the other day. She was like, "It's lawful good, not lawful nice," and I was like, "Man, that puts such a spin on some characters out there, doesn't it?"
Mm-hmm. Lawful good, not lawful nice.
So yeah, that's we played a lot of D&D. So you want to tell them how we met? Because that was a question out here.
Oh, okay. So back in the day, I used to go out a lot at night.
Yeah.
Go dancing with my friends. And a good friend of mine who was one of the performers in, I'm not even sure I want to say, I'll just say Bozo's Porno Circus, which is a band. All I can tell you is it's a band. Said we should take a break, from going out. He knew I liked D&D and tabletop and stuff like that. He's like, let's go do this LARP, Vampire the Gathering. And we have this friend that's running it, and we went to go do that, sort of like it's just to have an imagination night.
Mm-hmm.
And so John had this large game in Kingwood, which I don't know, was there like 100 people in it?
Yeah. So what it was is that back in the late 90s, there was a big vampire game happening in downtown Houston.
LARP is live action. It's grown-ups playing pretend.
Yeah. It's
okay. We're just using all those words like anyone else. But
live action role playing.
A bunch of grown-ups get together and they make up characters and they play pretend, sometimes in costume, in real time, just because life isn't crazy.
All right, so now we'll break down this craziness. In downtown Houston, at Rice University, there were a bunch of people, and they were all pretending to be vampires, right? And they were playing by the rules of this vampire game, but they didn't want werewolves to come and play in their game.
From
which is
early
totally
days,
reasonable.
we're like inclusion. You can't have vampires without werewolves.
Well,
so John's like inclusion.
So I was like, all right, so we can just go
Tell
make
me
our own.
Prejudice against werewolves.
And I was like, so we went up to
no team, Jacob.
Yeah, so we went up to Kingwood and a bunch of friends. It wasn't just me; it was a bunch of my friends. We went to the drama department. We were like, "Hey, we want to do play this game here." And the drama department was like, "Well, this sounds like it's interesting. Let's try this." And so, like a couple hundred people later, we were doing this vampire werewolf game, and it was great. All these people came and started running and helped.
And John wrote it. It was a really amazing, big, wonderful production.
Yeah.
And so we came and played. And
so Cinnamon showed up.
One night we were after games, you go to Denny's. I think you guys have mentioned before if you're at IHOP or you in an alternate dimension.
Oh, so hold on. Let's back up. So let's give some. So when Cinnamon and I actually met, I was running one of the storylines at this event, and so Cinnamon showed up with our mutual friend. And his name was Tig.
My friends had names like Tigger.
Tigger, like Tigger the Tiger.
Everyone I knew had names like that. My name wasn't even unusual. I just had to show my dad it wasn't a nickname. It was like that was my actual name. And I wasn't the only Cinnamon in our group because there was Sin Amen, the bassist of the Sandman comics.
Yep. So
much cooler than me.
So my Cinnamon shows up. And she's
the less cool Cinnamon.
And you know, it was funny because she showed up and she was remarkably well dressed and far better looking than I was, you know, than we were expecting. She was dressed in her club clothes and we were in LARPing, which I'll just say has a different set of attires, especially in the late 90s. So she showed up, and I'm like, okay, so you are definitely not going to be fitting in. So I gave you a role as a reporter.
Yep, human character
who is our reporter, and you went off and played.
You're just taking the longest way to this story I've ever seen.
And I just did think it's good.
He just takes the longest way to a story. The longest story you've never heard short.
So at the end of so we never saw each other again after that. So until the end of the night, where we all end up at Denny's, where we're all hanging out at these tables, where we switch around, and there's probably like 5 or 6 tables that we've got, and 30 or 40 people. They're all switching around.
My friend Tig is chatting up some blonde chick.
Yep, and Cinnamon ends up at
forever.
And Cinnamon ends up at our table,
which was supposed to be no.
Yeah, like
do it like no, like
don't leave her alone at this table. No, not this one. Anyone
Friendships
but
were
this
strained.
one.
I'll tell you that right now.
And so I'm here with my storytelling friends.
Tig is watching. We're cool.
Yeah, and we were looking like, you know, we just walked out from the deep dork woods, and you know we had our full dork on, and we're hanging here, and Cinnamon's not
smelling flag high fly.
She was not having a great time. She was not thrilled to be in here, and I can't say I blamed her at the time.
It was a late night.
It was a long night. So I'm trying to engage this pretty girl in chat, and at some point I'm like, "What? Are we not entertaining you?" And she was, "Well, not until now." And then we started talking about anime, right?
Because we like anime.
Because we liked anime.
A lot.
A lot.
Both of us. A lot.
And then all of a sudden, it was like. We were like, I know Akira, you know Akira? And then we were like, Bubblegum Crisis. And then we were like, have you been to Planet Anime? And you're like, yeah, I love Planet Anime. And then
I think all of our first dates were watching entire runs of seasons.
Yeah, but see, this was the remarkable
Ranma
thing.
one half.
I was never, ever, ever going to have enough guts to ask her out. So she, and at the end of the night, she was like, so, she was like, do you want my number? And I was like,
tall.
Yes.
He's really tall. I like tall.
So
good.
So and that's how we met. She gave me her number, and I was
when we started dating,
completely floored by that whole experience. So that's
he's a cutie patootie.
That's the long. All right. So
wow.
Okay. So Nicole.
That's just like we're never gonna make 3-minute videos unless they're eyeballs in a bowl. All right.
So I have a shamelessly self-promoting question.
Okay.
Nicole asks, where can I get a shirt like Cinnamon's one? Cinnamon's, I love it. So if you go to shop.theartsherpa.com or go to theartsherpa.com and click the shop icon in the upper corner, you can go out to our little shop where we have all this stuff, and you can
tons of different shirts and cups and totes and just whatever. If you want to get your Sherpa on,
get your Sherpa on. Up. Yep, and it's all there for you guys. And if you don't see
Sherpa become a verb, it has become like a verb. It's like boinga.
Well,
almost everything is boinga. It's all Sherpa.
Do you still Periscope?
Not as much. I need to.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got off the platform a little bit. I thought it was getting a little weird.
Ooh.
But I might get back.
So Angela says, hey, girl, you're looking good. She's been away a while. It looks like you're losing some weight. Congratulations
Angela,
on
thank you. I'm healthy life choices, which suck.
But you're working on that, huh?
It's not sugary or anything inside.
I see Mr. J is here too.
Huh?
Mr. J is here.
Hi, Mr. J.
How you doing? So we have a lot of our friends here. It's pretty. We have like over 240 people. That was
thank
getting me choked up.
Thank you for 80,000. I cannot believe we made it. Keep hitting me with the Q&A. Let's omnibus it. Let's be like Ask a Ninja, which used to be our date thing. We used to do Ask a Ninja. If you're not familiar with Ask a Ninja, you should be, because it's the funniest web series you might not have ever heard of.
We're more like Ask a Sun Bear, because we're just going to be kind of chill and mellow about how we do this, because it's not like Ninja's like
Sun Bear?
Sun Bear. Chill. They're
Malaysian
chill.
Sun Bear?
They're all chill.
Eat those.
Don't eat them.
Don't eat Sun
They're
Bears.
very cute.
They're so cute.
I'll send some Marines after you. That's not cool. Don't eat the bears. Okay, so this is my. So I'll go back to ask.
Like,
what?
Hey, Sun Bear is my favorite. You suck. That's the most interesting thing about YouTube is doesn't matter what thing you say, no matter how innocuous you think it is, no matter how unimportant or silly you think it is, you will offend somebody.
Okay, so we'll ask some quick questions. Omni Bear questions. How many? Okay, does the Sherpa have a favorite doctor?
Of who? Right?
Who?
Tenet or the Fourth. I'm kind of. I know a lot of people like Matt, but I'm David Tennant or the Fourth.
How many owl hats does Cinnamon have?
It could be like 5, but it could be more because I have like over 50 hats. I have to do a hat show, I think. Hat and apron show. Ooh. How many hats? I have to find them all too, because the kids keep taking them.
What is the Sherpa's favorite Amazon/Pandora/YouTube music station?
I tend to like modern folk.
Yeah, I can answer that for her. She listens to the modern folk channels.
It really irks him.
Oh no, it doesn't irk me. I just put them on for her. So I like modern folk.
John, I mean, that's just like if I'm just trying to chill out and relax, I put on modern folk.
Yeah, and just I like
growing up. Different set of music entirely.
I like electro. I'm still Daft Punk. I like the Borns. Borns have been good.
Yeah, John's like music on point.
I listen to a wide variety of stuff.
Very serious musician type. Has perfect pitch and all that.
Is there any dream place Cinnamon and John would love to go?
Hawaii. Aloha.
Mahalo. Yeah, definitely Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Actually, I'm really looking forward to doing the next thing is I want to do the big community get together thing. That's actually one thing I'm looking forward to.
I am looking forward to the community. We're working really hard on putting the community get together. It's gonna be local. It's gonna be in Houston. We're thinking we're just gonna.
That's a near-term thing.
Texas Art Supply and then go to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk and hang out.
I don't know. Why did John go to seminary?
Why did you go to seminary?
So I grew up Roman Catholic, and I had a really great experience growing up Roman Catholic here in Houston. I had there was a couple of really great priests. Father Frank, I remember, was one of those guys who really made you feel that connection to the divine. And I was an altar boy, and I became an MC, and I was really connected to the divine in that process. And I mean, like with all respect. And you have to say that right before you're going to say something disrespectful, which I am. That is, the Catholic Church is the most D&D-like religion. You have magic,
I know a lot of people that think that.
and ritual, and you have all of these things that really answer that tribal nature that we look for. Those things, and it comes from a lot of that in our heritage. So it's very culturally. And so I think I got a lot
from a really Irish family.
Yeah, it's a very Irish family, and so I had a real strong connection to the divine. And so growing up, I went to seminary, and I wanted to explore that. So I went to seminary, and it was really great learning that there's this place where you could safely explore that conversation and talk to that. And
John's a very spiritual dude. People don't necessarily think that about him, but he's actually a very spiritual dude.
Yeah, and but there were some differences that I found as I grew into the Catholic Church that were only that and you can say this, that what about everybody else? And there wasn't a good answer for everybody else, and so I had to move on to find other things. And it's not that the Catholic Church has it wrong. They just had it wrong for me.
And I think some people in the church find that answer for themselves.
Yeah, and you know what?
I think that
there were really good answers for it. There just wasn't a good answer for me. is what it was.
I think that's a better way of putting it. I think we get, it's always nerve-wracking to talk about.
There wasn't a good answer for me.
I love France because in France you can talk about religion and politics and all the stuff that will blow up a dinner table in America.
Yeah.
In France, they want to get down into it with you.
Yeah.
But they don't, they're very calm about it. They're very French. French people are very calm.
Yeah. Well, we don't, it's
They are.
Yeah. And
that's just one of the things I took away from staying there.
And we're
the very chillness of it. Like, we're going to talk about all the serious meat and potatoes of everything.
Yeah.
We really want to know you in that deep and meaningful way. But everyone's like, that's very interesting. Like, you just say what your thing is, but then their reaction is like, that now you can't say what your thinking is because then people like make signs and go throw eggs. It's just this. Stop being an interesting kind of intellectual conversation about probably the most important stuff, which is who we are as beings.
Yeah.
And I think that those things are important. Well, I like art for that reason. So we can explore that.
Lynn said, did Jaohn and Cinnamon already plan to travel to Canada?
We've been to Canada. We love Canada. We're huge fans of Canada. We got to live in Port Coquitlam.
Had a Canadian anchor baby.
Still Canadian.
Yeah, Luna's Canadian. She's dual citizen. So
we'd like to get back to Canada.
We love it there.
You guys have some beautiful country, man.
France? You've been to France?
Love France.
We come from France. We come from France. Yep.
Lady Carcass.
Yep, that was awesome. So we both been to France.
Mm-hmm. John's traveled. It's easier to say where John hasn't been. John's very world traveled.
That's not true. There's lots and lots of places. I've fortunately traveled to
a lot of places.
Many of the places that people are commonly aware of.
Yeah. He's hit a few more. I'd like to do more, like, to me, travel, and like I think the best thing in life is being with other human beings. I love it. I like, and to see what is happening there.
Yep, I've been to Sweden. Sweden rocks. Yay, Mona. Mona's like, John has been to Sweden. I was like, yep. Solidarity. I want to go back. I want to go back to the northerns of Sweden and like get a teepee and a horse and
go visit Nicolero.
Go visit Nick and be like, dude, can I camp with you for a little while?
Dude, you are on your own. I'll paint at base camp. That's where I'll paint.
You don't know, I'm an Eagle Scout. I live the 10th
He's the
law.
crocodile hunter of art.
And Nick is awesome. He is the Rick.
John in names.
So I'm not. And if you ask me to pronounce his last name, I would.
I'm probably butchering it too, but I'm going to say Nicolero, and you can find him if you just search Bushcraft Art.
Yes.
Bushcraft Easel. You'll find his channel, and I think it's one of the great treasures of YouTube.
Yes.
And it's awesome sauce.
Such beautiful country.
The guy can throw down some paint too.
And like the just the footage.
Easel out of twigs.
The footage that he has of some of that up there, it's amazing.
It's an extraordinary show. If you just need to chill out, it's an extraordinary show.
Okay, so now that we've plugged our friends,
as YouTubers, we're like, well, I mean, he doesn't. We've never even met face to face. We just like watch the show because it's like as YouTubers, seeing how he produced the show is fascinating to us.
Why do you wear so many hats?
I don't know. Man, this is a weird thing. How this started.
How did the hat start?
One thing you need to know about me: to pay for art school, I was a professional clown. I know that's not a popular thing right now with this clown terror going on around the country, but I used to be a professional clown, and that paid for school.
And so let me put this. Okay,
I have always had an appreciation.
No. This has got to get some of the backstory.
No more. Yeah. No, you're too long in the stories.
No, it's okay. They'll stay. There's 250 people here.
You can't do it.
Okay, so when I met Cinnamon, she was driving this really. I mean, like, I don't know if you're a Ford people, but I'm not, especially from like the 90s. And she was driving a red Ford Escort, and she was driving the red 4-door Ford Escort that
that splashes on it.
The day that it rolled off the assembly line, it faded. And the air conditioner broke. These are the two things that happened on it the day it rolled off the assembly line. Now, that being said,
but it did break.
This is my girlfriend who I met and realized
we were dating while I was clowning.
I realized
he had to
very
tell people,
quickly.
What does your girlfriend do? She's a clown.
But you know what? Swear to it. It doesn't matter when you're that hot. You can do whatever you want, and people can't say boo about it. So,
I'm so glad to be remembered this way.
I have no complaints. So here comes my wife rocking up in this faded red non-air conditioned, non-window rolling working escort that was gratefully provided while she's attending school, which but it was like she's sweating.
What you can afford.
She's sweating it off, like in this poor
so
air
grease
conditioning.
paint is very difficult in Houston's weather, and then if you think full, like I did a Harlequin style clown. So that's a very heavy costume.
Yes.
And I worked a lot. Which was kind of cool. And then, oh my gosh, you remember when I wasn't a clown, I was a Power Ranger?
Yes,
I was a pink Power Ranger because the only one fit in the costume. And I can fake karate fight. So, because I watch a lot of,
and you don't
movies.
You don't intrinsically offend children.
I don't offend children, so I can fake karate fight and get in that. So that was my life. That
was awesome.
These two things. And so I would drive around in this car. Are you getting to the point where it broke down and they were screaming at me?
No, I'm just saying that you just, as a clown, wore grease paint and drove around in Houston.
I've experienced clown hate.
One of the first things that I did, I had so I'm mechanically inclined, so it was like I threw myself at the wall.
Though.
Oh yeah, it does, because you wear hats because you're a clown.
I think so. I think what happens is that when I started doing the painting party, and I realized how important art is to people, and that this is just much more than a recreational night out, and for whole groups of people, this was a healing opportunity for them. This was a new discovery opportunity for them, where they're going to figure out that they're actually more than they ever knew. I realized one of the first things that I had to do was figure out how to make people comfortable and not be so anxious. And I think when I started out, I started out kind of in gallery wear. I think is how I started teaching parties.
I'm gonna search and see if I can find.
And then, as I was doing it, I realized that my number one job was to help people not be afraid of that white canvas. Right? It wasn't just to kill the time and run the clock out till they got out and money was collected and they had kind of a painting. It was to help them face that white canvas and, on a greater sense, maybe conquer some things happening in their life and discover that maybe some negative things that had been said about them were, this always gets me, not that true.
Yeah.
And so I created the Art Sherpa. I just started saying it one day at work, where I'm like, I'm going to be your Art Sherpa, and I'm going to get you through this painting.
One
step at a time. And you're like, why are you crying, you crazy person?
Yeah,
because it was amazing what was happening in the beginning of the painting party days, and people didn't know, and they would come in and I don't know if any of you've had real intense moments during branches. I find branches are emotionally it for people, where they really crack.
Yeah.
And you'd be just with some lady who suddenly remembered every mean thing ever said to her as a kid.
And
so that's sort of how Cinnamon Cooney became the Sherpa. Was I was like, I have to make this be fun art, not fine art. I need to take the fail out of this experience, so we can get just back to, hey, coloring's fun and very relaxing.
And that's where you came up with just giving people their crayons back.
Just give them their crayons back. I used to come home every day and say, we just got to give these people their crayons back.
Yeah, and it's so, and that's really all that it was. People were just asking permission to be able to color again. Yeah. And when we started getting the stories from you guys, we call it the book. We keep this collection of stories from you guys that when you tell us how you've painted or used our tools to get through these life journeys, it matters to us.
Some powerful stuff. You guys use art for some powerful stuff.
And we're just so grateful to be part of that journey. It means a lot to us.
We both learned a lot from you. Like, you'll write us stories about places that you've chosen to be creative to help get you through those moments. And you've taught me a lot, because I grew up in, I like to say, the cradle of art. Third generation artist. My grandmother painted, my mom painted, I paint. Nobody ever said to me, my mom was like, you better make money at your art, but she never said to me, you're going to be a starving artist. And, so I never had anyone come take my intrinsic creativity away. And I was luckily I had that label attached to me in my youth. Oh, well, you're talented. Mm-hmm. So you get to be this.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like being tribute in Hunger Games. People do treat you like they're sending you off for the fight of your life, where you're going to make it or die. Like, there's these two options. There's starvation or wild success. Like, there isn't a whole world of art experience outside of those two things. But it is a weird sort of world.
And I want to just share with you, there's so much love and congratulations coming in through the chat here. And I know that I haven't, you don't get to see that here all the time. And so, you know, guys, the reason why we don't let her see the chat is that she just like me, she loves just to read it. And
just read it.
And
I just read your comments. I just sit there and read them. Even if I can't get to all, I read them.
Yeah, and we do. And
I'll read like 1,000 comments on a Facebook
thank
post,
you guys
amazing.
so much for coming and being here with us today.
Yeah, and forgetting what a big deal this is. Like when we started this, when I said to John, I think people need to paint.
Yeah.
I think they need this, and we need to figure out like what about the people who can't afford going. Like I had a bunch of people that would come like every class I had. Like there was a committed group of people that they bought repeat passes, and they'd come every class I had. Yeah. And we would, you know, I guess they'd be the original Sherpettes.
Yeah.
In a weird sense, and that's where the Chat Noir, that step by step that's on Facebook, was for one of those core people that went to every class. Yeah. You know, the Kim's and the Kim's Flowers, all that was for a core. That was for that. So I think this has always been this in some weird way. And so when we said, hey, we had no idea how hard it would be to make this type of show on YouTube or what it would take technologically or time-wise. We didn't know. Yeah. But I'm so glad we did it. Yep. It was such a crazy thing to do. So insane. Like, so, you know how sometimes like you go through something and then you look back and you're like, whoa.
You know, this has been, I love you guys, and, you know, I look forward to doing this for a long time with you. Yeah. And getting it on public access, getting it out to more people. This has been so wonderful, you know. You know, and our happy community, our happy chatting community. Yeah. We love you for your happy chattiness. There were some other questions on the bus. Has John been in the military? No. He was an Eagle Scout. Yeah. So I was in the Scouts. I was heavily recruited for the military. I have military family background. I had to do some gut checks. You know, after I did a lot of martial arts growing up, so. There was a point where I was like, do I have the stomach for being a soldier? And I wasn't up to, you know, taking somebody else's life. So, you know, and I had so much respect for all of the people in my life that were there. I couldn't, you know, I couldn't. I think it takes a courage, and I think that, you know, we have to recognize we're not all things. And I have so many people in my life that are in the military that I have such respect for. Yeah. And that's a courage, isn't it? And that's such a courage to go out and the fire and the bravery it takes to go and do that. To have your life and life in general on the line. Doctors, all the people who can step up to that lifeline. Yeah. Because that's why I'm always like, you know, I just do art here. But if I had that hesitation, I couldn't have the back of the men and women who were there, and I knew that. So, coming from you know, and I decided to try to, you know, contribute elsewhere, you know, and that's, you know, but I have a strong sense of civil duty and a huge respect for all of, you know, our military and service personnel. Every key has a lock. Yeah. Every key has a lock. Just love and respect. How did you come up with the names for your children? Oh boy. Oh, we could ask that by the family members every holiday. Can we take a mulligan on that one? Huh? Take a mulligan on that one? No. I don't remember who first suggested Honey. Because her first name's Honey, her middle name's Bunny. Yep. Yep. And it had nothing to do with Pulp Fiction. It just... I never even thought of that. Yeah. Well, no, I get asked that occasionally because... I never even thought of that. Mine actually is from Mission Impossible. My mom named me for Mission Impossible. Honey, I don't remember who suggested it, but when we heard it, it just seemed true. I remember where it was is that, you know, it was your first kid, and you were just talking about it. It was hard for us to get pregnant. We didn't get pregnant easy. We had a really hard, painful journey to our first baby. You were so happy. You were talking. You were really excited about her, and you were like, I don't know what I'm going to call my little honey bunny. And was that it? Yeah, and my little and the honey part stuck, and then we were joking about it later when you were like, I could never call her Honey Bunny because our family would just never forgive us. And then we did. And then you were just like, nope, I like it, Honey Bunny. I think that's gonna be it. You were like, you like Honey Bunny, right? And I was like, yeah, I guess that's okay. You know what? She likes it, and it works for her, and it honestly fits her. I think maybe there's a divine spark in these moments. I hope there is.
The second one, Spider, we gave him a middle
Spider
name.
Jack.
Jack. He's a middle name.
He got a parachute name.
He got a parachute name. And then Luna Bella, we give her the parachute name of Jean.
Luna Bella Jean. Her full name.
She does not appreciate the parachute, and she feels insulted.
She doesn't like Jean as a name.
Doesn't.
She's Luna
two
Bella.
Beautiful, wonderful grandmas that were named Jean, but she's not feeling it.
Nope.
Actually, it was 4 almost. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
lots of Jeans.
There's a lot of
Jeans and Jones in that generation.
Yeah. Just a bunch.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Spider was almost Axel in Brick, so apparently we were trying to cast for the middle.
Yeah, I guess, but whoo, dodged that one, didn't we?
I don't know.
He was definitely getting a boy name, though.
He was going to get that name, and we'll see how. He's an interesting soul.
Yeah.
Oh, he's happy with it. And again, he has an opt-out. He may or I don't know what he's going to do.
He likes his name.
Yeah.
He does. He's happy with his name.
He's an interesting being.
Yeah.
He's a beer.
What about your name? Is Cinnamon your name?
My real name. For a while there, I used to joke, no, it's my easel name, but...
Too dark a joke.
But no, it's my real name. Actually made it much harder in the fine art industry to have a name like Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Because it just
like
does not garner respect or authority on any level. I've had to fight for all respect and authority that I've earned, and everything I have in art, I had to earn.
Yeah.
Because when you come in, you got red hair and you're kind of they always make you throw down with the art skills. They're like, oh, okay, is this a dog and pony show or can she paint? So I always have to prove that I can paint.
Oh, so Nami just turned in. She's like, I just tuned in. Is the interviewer the camera guy? Is there an audio feed? Just
Hi,
curious.
if you're brand new here, normally we teach painting. And to do the live shows, it takes 2 of us. I'm in front of a set of cameras with my easel so that we can go through all of the process of painting and everyone can see it. And then also you can ask questions in real time live.
Look at that.
The voice.
Look at that.
Woohoo! 80,000. We're here celebrating 80,000 subscribers. Yeah. The voice that you hear is my husband, John.
Hello.
He runs a massive switchboard which controls the robotic cameras, the sound system, and reads the chat. And if we give me the chat, then the show just stops because all I do is read the chat. And it's just better that he reads the chat, too.
We're not doing
We have a bunch of moderators here that make sure the chat stays friendly. There was one question I really thought was important.
Oh, that was earlier on. But it's I've lost it in the feed here, but it was
something like, it was always this
have
nice?
you always been this nice? Have you always
positive?
Well, that was the question. It was have you always been this positive of a person?
No. I have not always been this positive of a person.
What caused that to change? Because I remember you wanting to answer that question.
So, I used to be a lot edgier, and I used to see things from a much more absolutist sort of way, like instead of collaboration, I saw competition. I used to see things really, really differently. I used to watch the news. I think I used to look at my fellow man and just think we were flawed or broken, and think the planet was. It was really funny. I've always been funny. I feel like I've always been funny. I don't know.
I was just
been really
distracted
funny,
by the chat.
But
Sorry.
I think that I did not.
Don't leave me hanging there, husband. I've always been funny, right?
No threats. So what happened is my mom got really sick and she nearly died.
Mm-hmm.
And her appendix ruptured.
Yeah.
On a cruise, which is really dangerous, and they didn't catch it. She's 24 hours peritonitis, so it was about 90 days in touch and go between a hospital in Canada. Thank you, Canada, for taking such good care of my mom.
Yes.
Then life flighted back here, and then back into the hospital. And we were going through that, and my mom had just lost all sense of direction. Like, she was just... We were just both really lost. And so I started really, like, I guess going on this deep, deep spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
And began to realize that how I observe the world directly created it. Not that I'm creating reality, like just popping things out of thin air, but that oftentimes 2 things were true, equally true at the exact same time, which is people are very cruel, but then also people are very kind. Nature can be very terrible, but at the same time it can be very beautiful. And I was choosing to sort things from a very particular viewpoint. So I began a process of intentionally choosing, not burying my head in the sand in any way, but picking to put my attention, energy, and heart into those things that made the world a better place. And I began this philosophy of being additive to the world. Am I contributing, instead of just saying, oh, it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible, and we should do something, what am I doing that makes it better? I mean, not that I can go fix things that are far, far away from me and have no power over, but what am I in my own community? Am I standing in line and taking the opportunity to say something nice to the person next to me?
Yeah.
And I started this, and I turned off the news, and which was really hard because my mom and I were big news ingesters. And my mom started this too, and it's been a long journey, and I have to say it has been the best thing. I think I started this before the kids.
Yeah, this was.
It just changed everything for me. I'm so grateful, honestly, for that terrible thing having happened, because it brought Mom and I to like really question about how we were living our lives and were we making the most out of it.
I'd say daily gratitude comes into it a lot.
Yeah, appreciation, just being grateful for what is going on. And I mean, there are days that it's tough. There are days where I'm like, I'm grateful for running water.
Yeah. That
I don't have to go down to the stream and get the water. You know, it was definitely touch and go, and it was not a natural or easy thing for me. We talk about the art, like saying I used to have a much darker perspective in my art. My artwork used to be very emotive. It used to be very powerful, and it used to be much darker.
Yep.
And it definitely got like a lot of credit and kudos and everything. I mean, it reflected what I was going through, those struggles I was going through. And yeah, now my artwork is much happier. What?
I was like, can I do it?
What did I do?
No, I'll see if I can pop it up here.
Oh. I don't know what I did.
No,
did I say something?
No, you're fine. Oh, wait, look.
Hair's coming out of that weird way.
There's your creepiness.
So that's why I was like, yeah, I can do a horror paint. Can I paint a horror painting? Yeah, I really can. Like, pretty easily. And I think those are great skills, and I think that there's a time in your youth when that subject matter is almost useful cathartically, and you need to look at those things and touch into them and create from there. But, and again, I really hope to leave this planet loving it passionately.
Yeah.
That's my goal, is to exit the planet loving it genuinely from the bottom of my heart.
And, this whole journey for us has been really wonderful. And and right now I have an opportunity that I want to take, and this is part of this wonderful journey, and that's that Dawn's asked for us all to get to share some wishes for her and her family. Her aunt passed away yesterday, and they're all very sad. And I'm grateful for the opportunity for all of us to be able to do that. To be able to recognize those of us, who need that little extra love and that little extra hug, and be able to give it to them, because it takes nothing from us. Yeah. It costs us nothing to take that moment and be human.
Be human, yeah.
So, thank you for all the light keepers out there who are doing that. I know that this is not our normal stuff.
I just like to share that it hasn't always been this for me, because I think sometimes people think that some people are just magically gifted with a lighter spirit. And I can't speak for every person out there, but I know I worked for mine.
Yeah.
I know I worked really hard for mine, which is why sometimes I'll be like, I don't have time for the negativity. I've got to be here for the positive people.
Yeah.
That's why I got to put that energy into the good that's being created out there.
I want to say thank you to all of our friends who are here today. It's so great.
So I don't know. Was that too much of a soapbox? I don't know.
No. All of our moderators are here. All of our friends. I saw Chris plays games out here. He said some really nice things. He said,
I love what Chris says. Chris plays games always makes me happy.
He says, well, today I'm grateful for Jaohn and Cinnamon being lovely people and sharing with all of us. And that's echoed by so many people.
Since I've made that decision about this, I've met more and more and more and more lovely people.
And
it's extraordinary how, when you start looking for lovely people, you meet more and more and more lovely people. When you start practicing random acts of kindness.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're grateful for all of you guys coming here, because it's just such a pleasure to have you guys with us.
Yeah.
And
you can kind of see where the show came from.
Yeah, Correct Heart Studio says, I can honestly say it's a pleasure to meet you, Cinnamon.
It's a pleasure to meet you,
too. So we're so happy to meet you guys, too. And I know we drug you on here, this little journey today. We're
celebrating 80. We'll pull it. It's just you guys. It's just us.
It's just us. And look at this.
It's just us. We just had an us moment.
And I'll pull that up here and I'll show. Where did it go? Our little thingy. There it is.
This wouldn't have happened without you. This is only possible
where's
because
my little
of you guys.
See that right there? That right
was
there
you.
is you guys. You guys just decided to make that happen. So
some of your friends came and looked around and said no, and some of them said, yeah, I'd like to art for free.
They said this is the place that we should go, and we thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for helping us create the show and giving us ideas of what we're going to paint and what we're going to do. I'm excited for what's coming up. Thank you for always being very patient with us and the stuff that we create, because sometimes we have heart missions like the Beholder was kind of a heart mission.
Yeah.
For me, you're like, really, that crazy monster? But it was, because I think those types of painting skills are not readily accessible to artists.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to share that on this platform, I'm so grateful for this platform.
Yeah,
me too. Just because it allows so many of us creators to come out here and share what we have to share. And like, there's some good stuff on YouTube. I know there's a lot of cat videos.
And the people behind YouTube,
shade to the cat videos.
all the people behind YouTube, like Shayna and Ellie and Chris and all you guys, thank you so much. And everybody up there at the spaces, we love you guys. Every member of our community, we're going to be on our website checking out your artwork that you're sharing. We love the galleries y'all are posting up. Yeah, all of our fellow YouTubers, Ian and Todd and the non-artists, all you guys, love you guys. Thank you so much for letting us be part of your lives and for changing the course of ours. Thank you. So, love you guys. Thank you.